saying that allows
do you think it's appropriate to maliza kazi yako na 3 hours bora umemaliza tu hapo? Expect ukienda kwa system unaanza kumaliza. Yet 1 hour 2 hours.
When I listen to my colleague here, I think it's just talking propaganda. It's not being realistic.
Ado, in your weekend. Unajua mpaka ni soak kwa maji moto.
We have challenges.
Okay, the whole night hapo ndani. Mwani kulete.
This is the health sector. We have challenges in the
hiyo ni kutakuletea mani.
that Kenyans because someone does not want them to assemble. We are engaging Kenyans on these issues, and I can tell you the results is overwhelming. It tries to make it look like a Raila issue. It's not about a Raila issue. If it was a Raila issue, then Raila would end up being alone in the rally. And people have never mobilized. Someone is addressing their issues. You know, unfortunately, Kenya Kwanza was the downfall. They used all tactics to get them to support me. They talked about hustling. They talked about even cost of living was an issue to them. They talked about the hustling and all those things. But
Hello. Yes, my apologies again, my sincerest apologies. We are about to commence. Just give us another 10 minutes. I've been experiencing a bit of technical issues on my end, but the meeting is just about to start, 10 minutes maximum. All right. Yes. Yes, Cynthia Kerubo, with your raised hand, you can speak. You can unmute and speak.
Why is everyone named Cynthia Kerubo here? And I'm trying to send a message to him or her, but it's saying the person is not in the meeting. Kindly check on that.
Pardon, can you please repeat? I couldn't hear you.
Saying all the participants in this meeting have been named Cynthia Kerubo, including myself.
Yes,
why is that so? And when I try to chat with the Cynthia Kerubo, I'm saying the person is not in the meeting.
that is what I'm trying to handle at the moment. Yes, the technical difficulties, but I'm working on it.
Okay, then let me leave. I will join when in the next few minutes. So I've said we wait for the next 10 minutes.
I am correcting that immediately.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, just 10 minutes. Thank you for your patience. Can I be heard? So we are about to commence the meeting officially. Again, our apologies for the slight technical issues we've experienced. So our panelists for the day, can you please introduce yourself so that we can begin? No. Hello, I can't seem to hear you on my end. That is West Mugo. To the two people who have raised their hands, I have, can you please turn on your videos? Yes, I can see you right now.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
My name is Wesley Rurik, Assistant Manager, Domestic Tax Department, Kenya Revenue Authority. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, West. I am changing the names as we speak, so just to Mr. Haron Muturi, can you please introduce yourself? Hello. Hello. Can I be heard? Hello, yes, I'm requesting Haron Motari. Can you please talk? Hello. Mr. Haron Motari, are you in? Okay, we'll have to just begin without him. So we'll commence with a word of prayer. I'll pray for us, and then we'll officially start the meeting. So just a quick word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, may you bless us and help us today as we commence this meeting, and may it be a success. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so okay, once again, good morning and welcome to your edutainment. I am your host for the day, Samuel Angima, and today we'll be talking about VTDP, that is the Voluntary Tax Disclosure Program. And our panelists for the day, our very own SME, that is Mr. West Mugo, is in the building to help break down the issues and any questions that you might have. And our other panelist, Mr. Haron Moturi, a senior accountant and somebody very vast in the field, will also join us if he has not already, to kickstart the meeting. So our first question of the day will go to Mr. West Mugo, who will just explain what VTDP actually is. And if I have asked you to start a video and to unmute, please do so. It will assist me to rename you and set all the technical issues right as we continue the meeting. To Mr. Mugo, yes, the floor is yours. As we wait for Mr. Mungo to join, I'll just take you briefly into what my understanding of VTDP is. The Voluntary Tax Disclosure Programme, or just abbreviated as a VTDP, this is a program where a taxpayer confidentially discloses their tax liabilities that were previously undisclosed to the commissioner for the purpose of being granted relief of penalties and interest of the tax disclosed. Mr. Haron. To Mr. West Mugo, I've been waiting for your reply for a minute.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Sorry, I could not unmute. I was trying to do the chat box thing, but apparently you're not seeing it. So, yes, VTDP, as you've clearly stated, is a program where a taxpayer confidentially discloses his tax liabilities that were previously undisclosed to the commissioner for the purpose of granting relief. So the main thing here is granting relief of penalties and interest of the taxes disclosed. And it became effective on 1st January 2021. And it's running for 3 years up to end of this year, which is 31st December 2023. So basically we're in the final year of this program. Thanks.
Okay. That is some interesting points. So just a quick question to follow up on that. How can someone apply for the VTDP? It's the filing season and a lot of people are trying to get caught up on matters of the taxes. So how do you apply for it?
Yeah. Now, if you wish to apply, then you have to log into our iTax system, and then you select the Voluntary Tax Disclosure Programme under the returns menu. Now, in that menu, you have two sections. After you've selected the tax obligation, we have two sections that you need to fill in. One of them will capture the period and upload the relevant documents. And then the second section is where now you capture the amounts, the undeclared turnover, undeclared expenses, the tax payable, and then you submit. Now, after you've submitted, you'll receive an acknowledgement slip through your registered email address. And a verification task will be created in the respective tax service office. Upon approval or rejection of the application, the applicant will receive an approval notice or rejection notice via their registered email address. Yeah.
Okay. And what tax liabilities are covered under the Voluntary Tax Disclosure Programme?
Basically, it's almost all the tax obligations. We have individual income tax, we have corporation tax, we have pay as you earn, we have withholding income taxes, we have capital gains tax, we have VAT, value added tax, we have withholding VAT, we have excise, we have turnover tax, and the monthly rental income tax. So it's almost all the taxes. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you for that response. I think that was Mr. Haron Moturi who has just joined us. Yes, Mr. Haron, you can introduce yourself to the... Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yes, we can. I can hear you clearly on the end. Mr. Haron, have we lost you again? Because you're muted. As he continues to sort out his technical issues, to Mr. Westmugo again, a lot of people would like to come forward and disclose their tax liabilities, let's say, but a lot of taxpayers that I've met, they usually feel like if they disclose their tax issues, they're exposing themselves to prosecution or to be prosecuted. Is that the case with VDP also?
Not at all. Once you get that certificate, which highlights your undisclosed tax liabilities, you'll not be prosecuted. So long as the undisclosed income and tax liability covers the 5 years which the program covers. That is from 1st July 2015 to 30th June 2020. Any income tax disclosures you make for those 5 years, you'll not be prosecuted.
And
Am I still on?
a follow-up question. Will a person be expected to make a one-off payment, or you can pay in installments?
Actually, it will depend with the taxpayer. What there is the taxpayer can decide to make a one-off in that year, or you can do installments, so long as all the payments must be made within that year. If it's, for instance, the third year, the final year, which has begun 1st January 2023, if you decide to take advantage of this program, then whatever tax liability you'll have to clear it by end of this year, all of it. So you can do installments or one-off.
I've also seen on our chat section where I encourage all of you to send in name and the question that you have. One participant has asked a question. They've asked, can we have a presentation to take us through? And that is directed to you, Mr. Watts. Or is it a process that somebody can do it themselves online, or anybody to take you through?
Yeah, in our website, we have a step-by-step process for application. So we advise all our taxpayers to go to our website. There's a step-by-step guide on how you can do it in iTax. Those ones who have challenges, but they can visit the nearest tax service office and they will be helped.
That's a good response. I hope to the person who was asked, to the one who was asking the question, that has been answered. And what benefits do you get when you voluntarily come forward and disclose your taxes?
For one, which the program is basically advantages of is you will get remission of penalties and interest. The basic idea for this program was you disclose your taxes, but instead of paying the total liability, including the penalties and interest, you get a remission of the penalty and interest. For instance, in the first year, which was January 2021 to December 31st, 2021, if you had taken advantage of this program, you would have gotten a remission of 100% of all your penalties and interest. The second year, you got 50%. This final year, you are getting 25% of your penalties and interest. Maybe if I can use some figures to make the point clear. If, let's say, for example, you have undisclosed tax liability of 7 million, and then penalty and accrued interest is 3 million. So basically, you're supposed to pay 10 million. So if you took advantage of this program in the year 2021, the 3 million penalty and interest will be waived. So all you had to pay was 7 out of the 10. In the second year of income, if you use the same example, of the 3 million, you will pay only 1.5 million. So out of 10, you will pay 8.5. Now in this final year, which we are currently in 2023, the remission will be 25% of the penalty and interest. So basically, of the 3 million, you will be waived 750, and now you pay 2.25 of the penalty and interest. So the major advantage of this program was to waive the interest and penalty, and also to make you come to the tax bracket.
That's actually very interesting point you've made there. Just to follow up, there's another question here that I think is actually very important. I might have glossed over. Somebody's asking what is the difference between the VTDP and filing of an amended return.
Filing of an amended return also applies in VTDP. A taxpayer files an amended return if he's made a mistake or an omission or a commission in his first return. So what happens is you have a chance to amend that return. Also in VTDP, you'll have that chance to amend a return, so long as it doesn't put you in a refund position. And also you'll have to make it in that year when you are doing that disclosure. For instance, if you're talking about this current year now, which is the final year, 2023, you can do a return, a VDTP return now. And then if you feel like there was an omission or commission, you can amend it either next week or next month, so long as it lies in that year of income and it doesn't result in a refund position. So you can do it, both normal returns and VTDB returns.
Okay. Now, and is VTDP applicable to all taxpayers, even those who are non-resident? They have businesses here, but they do not reside in the country.
No, VTDP is applicable to only residents who have paid, both non-individuals and individuals.
Okay. I'm not sure if Mr. Haron, are you able to get in touch with us now? To Mr. Haron, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please nod. I think I've asked you to unmute while he's trying to work on his technical issues again. Sorry to put too much attention on you, Mr. Mugo.
No problem.
There's another question. Just a minute. Hello, Mr. Haron.
Yes. Maybe, Chair.
Okay, we'll just continue as he tries to sort his issues. So, Mugo, now, when somebody has been issued with a certificate, when you've already been issued with the certificate, can you, how do I ask this question? Is it something that you can use to, for example, if you're having any tax issues, can you present it to KRA and how your issues, they might be given to be afforded more time to work on your issues?
The certificate, once the application has been processed and approved, the certificate will bear the tax obligation and the period it covers, the way you entered your details. So the authority will not go back to us because the certificate is evidence that you've been covered and you've taken advantage of this program. So anything that crops up for those period that you've covered, the authority will not go back to that. Actually, that was the basis of this program, to make you declare those undisclosed income and pay the tax liabilities for those periods.
And just what remissions will an applicant get after you've applied for? Will you get on the penalties or interest? Is there any remissions?
Yes, the remission is on penalties and interest, those two. Like I explained, using the tax liability of 7 million and penalty and interest of 3 million. The remission you get is on the 3 million. If you can use that example. And I want to add that that one is guaranteed, unlike the normal tax waiver.
Okay, I'm encouraging you to send in your questions to the chat. When you do send in your touch your name, mistakenly made a small mistake when setting up the Zoom meeting, and it has been a bit hard to correct. So just send in your chats send in your question through the chats, and then I'll read them out to our SME to respond to them. So I can see that so Mr. Mugo, you've already talked about how somebody can you after you've set your issues within if after you have you've disclosed your taxes, can you cite the conditions that can lead to a taxpayer being prosecuted? That is, if they have to be prosecuted after disclosure. What conditions can lead to a taxpayer being prosecuted after disclosing their taxes?
Basically, if taxpayers engage in fraud, in fact, one of the, if I may add, one of the conditions for taking advantage of this program is if a taxpayer is under investigation for fraud. Even if he applies, it won't go through, it will be rejected. So one of it is investigation for fraud, and two is if a taxpayer is under audit or a compliance check for those specific period. Yeah.
And to the taxpayers who have to Cynthia Kerubo, which I'm sure you're not Cynthia Kerubo, to the one who was asked to be unmuted, just please raise your hand on the chat, and then I will be able to identify you, because everyone is saved as Cynthia Kerubo, and then I can unmute you to talk. To the taxpayer who wanted to be unmuted, please raise your arm on the chat so that I can unmute you.
Aaron is visible on the chat. Maybe you can unmute him.
Aaron,
on the participant list.
I have the participant list. I have asked him to unmute. Yes.
Hi.
Hello. Sorry for the mix-up.
No problem, I understand. It's okay. It has been crazy, yeah? Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Aaron Azikobad. I know Mr. West. Maybe I don't know you, but we discuss going forward. Thank you so much for allowing me. You know, it's been quite an experience.
Thank you so much for joining us. I was going through your CV and you have extensively in the accounting field. You are currently a managing partner at Hamo and Associates in Kisii.
Yeah.
You are formerly a factory accountant and an audit manager. So can you just tell the other attendees how your career in the tax field has been able to shape your views on matters of tax?
Well, thank you. I can say that taxation is quite challenging. It's a rewarding career. That's one thing I can say. You deal with a number of clients. You deal with the tax officers and many stakeholders. So it makes somebody to keep on learning every day. New acts are coming on board. So you have to be alert every time and read, and at least with the experience, with time, the experience comes in. Thank you.
Okay. So we've been talking about matters of VTDP with Mr. Mugo, and he's covered extensively a bit much about it. What I would actually want to ask is if there's any changing trends or anything that is just something that you are not aware of concerning VTDP that need to be made aware of. And a follow-up question that has been put up on the chat, this is to both you, Mugo, and Samuturi. In case of invoice number, just let me get the question correctly first. Under the chat. There's a question that in case of invoice number is too long, we put the correct number, but in the return it is capturing less numbers. How can we do to avoid that inconsistency? I'm not sure if you've understood the question. The wording is a bit off for me personally, but if you can see it on the chart, can you please respond to it?
Yes, an inconsistency will arise, especially in VAT on invoices, when the invoice number the taxpayer puts is different from the invoice number the seller put, the person whom the taxpayer purchased from. So basically what we encourage taxpayers is, since the sellers are using the invoice number in their own receipts, the invoices, they should use the same. Basically,
Mr. Mugo, you are muted. Your audio is muted.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Douglas Mwanyamba, you had raised your arm earlier. I can see you're trying to connect your audio. Do you have a query or it's just a follow-up, a comment, rather? Okay, as he's connecting to his audio, to Mr. Harm, what happens when the seller refuses to put a buyer's PIN? That is another question that I've seen on the chat. Yes, you can hear you.
Hello? Come again, please.
Let me repeat, which is on the chat. What happens when the seller refuses to put a buyer's PIN?
Okay, when a seller refuses to put a buyer's PIN in the ITAX table, you know, the other side in consider broker at the end of the day. And you know, the buyer will claim. Once the buyer will claim, then in consider broker on the seller side that is sold to this buyer, but the other side they have not declared. So buyer is able to track and at least find out why this one has not declared.
On the chat again, I think Mogo, you can help us on this one. Kindly advise on this case. We declared December invoices, which were from old ETR machine, and we paid the tax payable, but the client is requesting for new teams compliant ETRs. The chat says that I understand we can't be able to issue credit to issue credit not using the old ETR machine. Please guide us.
Now, I want to confirm something first. Now, this program, the period that is covering, Teams was not in force yet. So basically, we're using the old ETR. So anything to do with Teams will not apply in this program.
to the person who was asking the question, a follow-up on the chat, or you could raise your arm and I could unmute you so that you could respond to Mr. Mugo. Okay, I think please unmute me. I've actually requested for you to unmute. So I think you need to unmute on your end. Just look at the icon that looks like a microphone. If it's checked red, if it's crossed over red, it means you're muted. Just click on it and you will be unmuted, because on my end, I've actually asked you to unmute.
Are you excited that? Amesemaje amekupigia simu? So amenipigia niko online, hiyo meeting online hapa. Then nipigie nimwambie.
on ask you. Can you
Hello.
Can hear you.
Hello. Hello.
You're audible, Aaron.
Okay. Still is not
Yes, I've led you and on my end. Yes,
what problem to get?
oh yes, Haron, sorry for that. Somebody has a company that they have registered for, that was registered 4 years ago, and they can see that it has accrued some penalties. So it is a SPV, which is a special purpose vehicle, which has no income, which had no income until the purpose of generating electricity kicks in 2 years' time, when the tax will apply. Now, the absence of income for the time being can be used. Okay, I personally do not understand the question as much there. I would like to direct you to our chat section. That is Mr. Haron. If you've seen the chat, I'm sure you've seen it. Can you respond to it?
I've also not seen, but anyway, I want to say this. If you have registered a company, like 4 years ago, and probably you have not been able to do the required returns, the penalties and interest which are accruing, probably as per law, you have to pay them. They are not remitted because they are not waived. Because according to law, you are supposed to do returns according to the time that are required to be done.
Okay, I think the chats are just appearing on my end, so I'll also read another one that had been sent in a bit earlier. A certain taxpayer had asked, is batching of claims invoices allowed when the list of invoices is too long when filing VAT? Can I repeat the question of or mmenielewa hapo?
You know, when you are claiming VAT invoices, the law requires that they must be clear. The invoice number must be clear, and the date, and the type of goods you are selling or services you are offering, or which you are claiming. So the invoice must be clear. So if you want to lump invoices together and patch them, probably definitely they will be inconsistent at some point.
Okay,
because it also depends on.
Just continue. My apologies there.
I was saying, definitely the seller, the one who sold to you, probably has get a proper invoice number, which is very simple and clear. When you are claiming, you are supposed to claim using the specific number, invoice number, date, and the type of goods, and the PIN number of the supplier.
Okay, to Mr. Mugo, There's another taxpayer who is asking here that they had claimed invoices and the supplier did not declare. So they have received inconsistency in the emails. And after contacting the supplier, he says that we did not give out our KRA PIN. How does somebody go about this?
Yes, those are some of the inconsistencies reports that we normally get. And the supplier is right. You know, if you don't give out your PIN to them so that they can enter it in their returns, then you obviously have inconsistency because the supplier will lump the sale. So we encourage taxpayers to always give out their PIN, their details, if they know they are going to claim. Okay, for now, this has been dealt with via the Teams program. But for those who want to take advantage of the VTTDP program, especially this last financial year, and they incur such challenges, they can visit the nearest station, TS tax service office. They will be helped.
Okay. So thank you for that response, Mr. Mugo. I'm trying to understand Mr. Douglas Monyamba's question here. Okay, let me just read it out. He says that if you're debited with penalties for waivers and cancellation of VAT obligation and waiver granted, the new certificate or the new PIN certificate issued with no obligation and compliance certificate issued. After some months, you realize charges are again debited to your account. How
Sorry, I didn't get that correctly.
understand to our other side. Okay. The charges. Repeat the question. Just just how you correct. Madness.
But can it speak to this? I think
Apologies for that again. So there's another question here you can see on the chat. To Douglas, yes, sorry for the breakdown in communication. So somebody is asking that they have received inconsistency. Okay, I'm trying to follow up with the questions as they come in on the chat. There are a bit many. To Mr. West, Mr. Douglas is requesting if you could repeat the point you were making on the invoices.
Answering the questions in regards to the NHIS. So the first question from the caller is from Eric, and the question is the NHIS discussion allowance applicable to the 2022 return, or is it coming into effect in this year's return? Eric, so this particular law came into effect last year in 2022. So when you're filing the 2022 returns, you should able to ensure this benefit. So anyone filing last year's return that is expected to claim the NHIS refund, given that it came into effect last year. So what happens in the case and negative feedback, negative feedback, that is you find yourself in a different position. When you find yourself in a different position, if you go to
let me just repeat the question to Mr. Mugo. Somebody is saying that I have received inconsistency email because of the annual. I think we have already dealt with that one. It was this one. Kindly advise on this case. We declared December invoices which were from the old ATM machines. That one was also covered by Mr. Harun. The questions are coming in a bit fast, so just bear with me for a second.
So what we've done at KRA is to make it very easy for you to be able to claim that return. So the process usually starts from you.
To Mr. Douglas, could you please repeat your question on the chat? Because I'm having trouble breaking it down. Yeah.
So when you go to your profile and you go to the tab for this, you should be able to just make an application. So you apply, and then of course you're going to ask you when you're applying for your refund, you tell us you can.
Sorry for the noise.
Information and proof just to show that you're liable to that refund. For example, the refund could be as a result of.
I've seen your question now, Mr. Douglas. You're asking what happens if you're debited with penalties and you go through all the waiver processes and the cancellation of VAT obligation. So you're asking if you should repeat the waiver processes again. Yes, I've now gotten your question. To Mr. Mugo, Mr. Douglas is asking if they had already applied for waiver, but they had already been debited with their penalties. How do they go about the process again? Do they reapply for waiver, or how do they move?
No, if I got it clearly, the taxpayer had penalties and went through waiver process and cancellation of VAT obligation. Then the an adjusted PIN certificate with no VAT was issued. After some months, there were some charges. There's no way a taxpayer can get charges if he has no that obligation. If it's VAT which was removed, there's no way he can get charges for VAT. I don't know. I didn't get that question correctly.
I've actually posted the question on the group chat for everyone. And I think Mr. Mugo came in, they can't hear you, and I've unmuted you on my end. So if you can see the question on the chat, just tell me, let me know.
What you do is sit down and just confirm to be supposed to get that refund.
I'd like to.
It's a question that starts with what happens and then a question mark. You're debited with penalties. Go through all the processes for waiver and cancellation of VAT obligation. Are you able to see it?
Yes, I can see it. Let me make a clarification. Unless this is a very special case, if an obligation has been removed, there is no way you can get any charges in that obligation if it's not in your PIN. Can you get me?
Yes, I can get you.
Yes, if an obligation has been removed from your PIN, there's no way you can get any charges against it. But I'd advise this taxpayer to go to the nearest tax service office and you'll be helped, because this is a very special case.
Okay, actually, there's a follow-up question to that one. Mr. Douglas is saying that the obligation was reinstated and all penalties are appearing in my ledger.
Or if it was reinstated and the taxpayer failed to submit returns since that date of reinstatement, then obviously there will be charges, there will be penalties, late filing penalties. So he'll be forced to apply for another way, but he must have some very convincing mitigating reason.
So Mr. Douglas, you have to apply for another waiver, as our expert has actually told us, and give a good reason as to why it needs to be waived off. Yes, Mr. Mugo, right?
And then once I've established that maybe I'm supposed to say like 10,000 as maybe 10,000 as
to the other participants, your questions are very much encouraged. The conversation is still on voluntary tax disclosure.
I don't know that it's here when I come. So it's a bit the issue of when the effective date of the NSHN child benefit. There's also a question on how how would they apply? So it's the same thing. The only difference is if the rate has increased, then it makes question acceptable and also.
Okay, so if we do not have any other pressing issues, I would like to actually thank Mr. Mugo and Mr. Aaron for your patience. I'm aware that the technical issues today have not made it easy on your end. I really appreciate your patience and the fact that you've been able to bear with me, and you provided a lot of information and guidance to the participants, and also to the participants. My sincerest apologies for the issues with technology. But I do promise that I will be better, and we'll have a better presentation coming up. So if you still have a question, you can send it in before we officially finish the meeting in the next 5 minutes. Okay, so I can't see any questions on the chat box. So I would like to thank you again for joining the meeting and being very. There's a question that has actually popped up, so we can handle it before we sign out. So a taxpayer is asking, please clarify on are sales rebates illegal, Mr. Mugo?
Not at all, not at all. That is part of the business. So what happens is the seller has to adjust the sales using credit note. Sales rebates they're part of business actually.
Okay. A follow-up question on that one. If not, how are they to be declared, noting that this will be in a form of a credit note, which is not tied to one invoice, but to a number of invoices across different periods? I'm attaching the full question on the chat.
Yes. Ideally, any single rebate must have a credit note linked to that particular invoice. There's no way you can lump them together to avoid any inconsistency. So I would advise taxpayers to make sure that any credit note issued related to a particular invoice.
So what we will do with it is once we are done, we're going to
I've actually posted it on the chat to see if I read up the question well.
So that you'll be able to just check in. So all you need to do is just type KRA and you'll be able to quickly go and find it good for you.
Have you been able to see the question?
Yes,
on the chat.
Yes, about the credit note.
Yes.
Yes, what I'm saying is a credit note should be linked to a particular invoice. You cannot lump so I'd advise taxpayers to always, when you're issuing credit notes, just link it to a particular invoice. Take time and issue several credit notes related to that those invoices, but not lumping. because it will that will generate an inconsistency.
And let us know if you have any other expenses in regards to getting that particular income at the end of the day. So you will definitely ask you to
Okay, thank you for that response, Mogo. After the taxpayer, I hope that you've been able to get some clarity on that issue. And another one, can credit notes, just bear with me, Mr. Mogo, can credit notes done manually help to reduce the invoices done using the new tax compliance system?
That will be a challenge. It will be a challenge. But we're working on that. The teams was meant to reduce manual operations, but we are working on that. It's a challenge.
Okay, thank you for that response. Yes, so as Mr. Mugo said, you can walk into any of the business centers and any KRA offices and get assistance for free. Any query will be answered. But we also encourage you to make calls to our call center, which is 0711 099 999 999. Let me repeat it again. It is 0711 099 999. Or you can also reach out to our Twitter on @KRA, on Facebook @Kenya Revenue Authority, and our website also on www.kra.go.ke. So you can reach out and ask, and you will be served. So thank you for joining the meeting, to everyone, and Mr. Mugo again, a lot of thanks to you for helping me with this presentation. God bless you.
Thank you.
So I'll be finishing with a word of prayer, and then we will catch up in the next 10 minutes. So let's believe as we pray. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for this meeting. Thank you for making today a success through the ups and downs you've been with us. And as we finish this meeting, a lot of praise goes to you. I'm saying this short prayer, believing and trusting in you. Amen. And to Mr. Aaron, asante sana pia. To the taxpayers who also joined, thank you very much.